Morning, fellow travelers. How are y'all doing today? It's good to see y'all. I wanted to take a minute to talk about control. What a wonderful and very scary word control is. And I'm not really talking about controlling others. I think I'm talking about controlling situations. A lot of us have got issues with trying to control things, trying to make things work out just right, just the way that we want them. I know I do. When I get to wanting to do stuff with my kids or with my wife or planning uh, something going on, you plan it and you want it to be just perfect. And sometimes you get so caught up in it being just perfect when everything doesn't go just according to plan. You feel like the whole thing's been ruined and been destroyed. Have you ever had that happen to you where you spend all this time planning something and then one little thing went off and didn't work and you felt like the whole thing was just ruined? That's what control can do to us. And what does control do to us? What are the bad things that control can do? When a lot of times when we're trying to control something, we're trying so hard to make it be this one way, we can miss all the spontaneity that's going on. We can miss all of the magic that happens in a moment because we're trying to make it just this one way. And maybe that's not really who we want to be, but oh, it's hard. It's hard not to do it, isn't it? So let's just talk about a little bit about that. I had a beautiful friend of mine was talking about he had this image of this hand, and if we want something from the universe, this is what we need to do. But when we are trying to control it, this is what we're doing. We are holding on tightly. We are trying to control. We are trying to force. Maybe we're trying to punch, but we're not being open. We're tight. We're tight and controlling. And what are we missing? Because when we're holding tight to something, we can't catch anything. We can't receive anything in a hand, do we? Anything that comes to us is going to hit this and it's going to fall. It's going to disappear. But if we can open up that hand, now we can receive something. We can receive whatever that joy or that spontaneity or that magic is from the universe by letting go of it right there. Also, there's so much problems in trying to control so hard. We're squeezing so tight. We're tight and we're tensed. And pretty much any athlete will tell you in life, even when you're doing sports, if you want to do something well, you have to be relaxed. You have to let your muscles flow, but at the same time, you have to be relaxed because you've got to be ready. If you're a football player and you're running, you don't know which way the tackler is going to come at you. You need to be ready to go right or left, whatever it might be. Maybe you need to be ready to spin. You need to be relaxed enough to do that. You do tense right at that moment of contact, but generally when they're running, they're trying to stay relaxed so that they can react as fast as possible to whatever's going to be happening to them. And again, just that act of controlling, how often do we run things and just miss it all and run it for everybody else? I've seen myself so many times trying to get my children to do what I think they should be doing. What Dad's over here saying, don't do this or you have to do it this way. I was out at the batting cages with my son, my 12-year-old son, the other day, and working on batting. And I'm over here. He's doing pretty darn good. He's hitting balls, and he's excited. He's hitting balls, and I'm going. You need to get your stance wider. And you need to hold the bat up higher to be ready. And he looks at me and says, "Dad, you're running it. I don't want to do this anymore." And I'm just like, oh man, there I go again. I'm trying to control the situation. And fortunately, I realized right in that moment that I got two choices here. I can get mad at him and say, "You do it my way," and to be honest, that's what I used to do in life. And then it either became a fight or all of the fun now has gotten sucked out of the situation. But this time I said, "You know what, buddy? You just hit. Stop listening to me. do what you want to do. We're here to have fun. If you like those ideas, and I shut up. I stopped telling him what to do. And he hit balls. And he had fun. And he enjoyed it. He's 12 years old. He probably is not going to be the greatest hitter in the world. And if he is, it's not going to be because Dad forced him to have a horrible time at the batting cages one Sunday afternoon. And it was just a wonderful lesson of, I don't have to control things. When I do control things, a lot of times, boy, it just messes it up. So that was just really sitting on my mind today. So, what are some things that we can do to help with that control? Because probably a lot of us have problems with control. And if you don't, bless you, you are a saint, and you just keep on rocking. The first thing I think that we can do to really help us with control issues is to realize that we don't have control. To realize it when we're trying to control something. And that's kind of the first step in anything, isn't it? Realize that you're doing something either you don't want to do or you're not doing something you want to do. Becoming cognizant of the matter. My good friend has a hula hoop hanging on their wall in their office. And I love going in there because I'm like that. Why in the world, you are a business professional, you got a hula hoop on your wall. What in the world is going on? And what he likes to say is that reminds him of how much he can control in his world. He can control when he steps inside the hula hoop, if he has it around him, that's what he can control. He can control himself. He can control his actions. He can control his reactions to a situation. He can't control what the people around him are doing. He cannot control the weather. He cannot control when things go wrong. And for him, that becomes a really powerful thing, and for me too, because I can't control a lot of times what happens to me. I can only control my reaction to it. Going back to my son, I can't always control if my son's going to be in a good mood or a bad mood. And certainly in that situation, I couldn't control exactly how he's trying to hit, but I could control my reaction. And I had two ways to go about that: get mad at him and force him to do what I wanted to do because I'm right and I'm Dad, or I could let it go and just let him have fun. So I think that's the first step, is realizing that you're trying to control, and a lot of times you don't have control. And what you can control is your reaction. And what do you want your reaction to be right there? Second step, breathe. I think that's always a really, really good reaction. A deep breath. Just let it go of that need to control. Not always easy. Sometimes there's a lot of deep breaths going on, certainly for me. But breathing is such a powerful thing that we often forget. We get caught up and there are so much breath work, meditation, breathing ways of approaching life. When we breathe shallow in the top of our lungs, that creates anxiety. There are scientific tests on how breathing can affect the physiology and our mental state. Shallow breathing it goes back to really our caveman days, because when we're shallow breathing, often that's running, that's escape, that puts us into fight or flight. If you feel yourself when you're have bad anxiety kicking in, a lot of times, you're doing quick breaths, little rabbit breaths. You're not filling up your lungs. And that act of breathing deeply, right away, that can reset. That is, now your body is getting the life force that it needs. It's able to relax a little bit. It's not fighting for more air. It's not running from whatever is going on. So never, ever, ever discount the power of just a deep, deep breath in whatever situation it is right there. The third thing I think is really, really important is learning to take a moment and just ask for help. Whether you pray to the universe or a higher power or God or whoever that might be, taking a moment saying, universe, God, help me out here. Help me to be calm. show me what you want me to do here in this moment. And a lot of times that now you're admitting that you don't have control and you're looking to something more powerful than you, something else to help you out there. And sometimes that act alone can be very powerful in making you realize that you don't have the control, and giving that up to something else more powerful than yourself, and allowing that to work in you. The power of turning that over is that as soon as you give up some of that control, now you've loosened that grasp. And now what can you get? What can you allow to come into your life, into your situation? What magic can you allow to happen? What wonderful energy can you allow to flow into that situation? But you got to open up that hand sometimes. You just got to let that control. Sometimes that's a scary thing to do. Certainly not always easy. And certainly in the moment, it is hard to realize it. So when that's starting to happen, become aware. Realize, I'm trying to control this, and this might not be a good thing. Take a deep breath. Ask for a little bit of help. And just open that hand and see what the universe will bring to you. Maybe this helps you out. It certainly helps me. Maybe I won't be in so much control today. I'm going to try and let the universe come and bring me the love and the wonderful energy that I need and that I want. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to y'all soon.